Okay, so market just opened. Taking a look at Tesla here this morning. The market was it's a good day to trade today because the futures on the market were way up in the morning, so it looks like it's going to be a good day. So what happens when the market opens? So let's take a look at Tesla here. So it kind of went sideways. So Tesla right here, you can see, opened, just shot down and then back up again. And then it went sideways the entire pre-market, okay? But up slightly from where it closed last session. So what's happened when the market opens, and what often happens is, as a lot of stocks were up, people just start taking profits, and that's what you see here. Tesla just started falling. Now let me explain these lines. So this top red line here and this bottom red line, there's two here, but the one that's slanted is the trend. So you can see, they say, when in doubt, pull out, widen out. That's exactly what you see here. So let me turn that off. So if you look at Tesla over the last number of days, you can tell that it's channeling down. It has a down trend to it, okay? So, and typically speaking, we probably wouldn't trade a stock that's in a downtrend. But it becomes very interesting to look at this stock once it hits the bottom, if it hits the bottom, okay? So let me bring the NASDAQ in. This is the NASDAQ composite, and you can see that it's mirroring exactly what the NASDAQ is doing. Tesla is a techie stock. NASDAQ is the tech indice. So you can see it's really mirroring it, it is a great place to watch, because we would never buy Tesla unless the NASDAQ composite told us to. This gives you the backbone and the courage, the NASDAQ composite does, to go ahead and think about making an entry on Tesla. What I would look for here is if Tesla was to bottom out on the downtrend here, and it looks like it still might, or this flat red line is Tesla's, since it's split, this is its all-time low, which is 198.59. So that's the lowest it's been since the split in its history, okay? So that's some very strong floor for Tesla, which means that's in a very attractive spot to look at. Entering into a trade on Tesla is right down here at its all-time low and at the bottom of the trend line on its channel down. So that's a very strong floor for Tesla, which means it's probably not going to bust down through that. It might go down and touch it, but this is a very attractive spot to look at for Tesla, because and it might start up forward here, but this is where you've got to, the patience. It takes patience, okay? So let me show you something else. Now here's the VWAP. This is the volume weighted average price. So if you waited for Tesla to drop and you bought it at the VWAP, you wouldn't feel very good right now, because what happens is it goes even lower. If you draw your lines on the stocks that you like to trade, and you have the patience to wait for them to hit those numbers. I mean, you can't be all jazzed up in order to trade stocks that you just buy right here. Now, could you be okay? Well, maybe, but I would I would rather not trade at all than to buy it there and just have it go down and potentially that this is too much to lose. So that's the difference of it's 201.13 is the low on the day. That's what that means. And its all-time low here is 198.59. So that's a couple of bucks. And if I buy 100 shares of Tesla or whatever it is that you can afford, I'm down 200 bucks by the time it might hit and go forward. I don't know why you'd buy a stock and take a chance when maybe today's not the day to trade it. Now, this is attractive. I like this setup, but we'll see what happens here. So that's a lesson in Tesla. You need to be patient enough to wait for the perfect setup so you can make money, rather than just jump in there and start trading stocks. Okay, let's not do that. So that's a little lesson in Tesla, and we'll see what happens here, but be careful. So take a look at this. Now we got a quick head fake up. We had a green candle there that just started. The NASDAQ as well has gone green here. Patience. Patience, people. Remember, it's kind of like a wave in the ocean and you're a surfer. You don't have to ride the entire wave in, right? We don't have to get up on our surfboard right here because we think it's going to wave up. We can wait for the wave, right? Don't be buying it here. We don't know if there's going to be a wave, right? That green candle is promising, but it's still looking pretty weak here. So let's let this play out. So if we bought Tesla, once it gets back above the VWAP and the candle's very strong on the NASDAQ composite, that's probably a better trade. So if you buy it right there, we don't know what's going to happen. NASDAQ's looking stronger here. I should fill that in for you so you can see it better. But here could be a good entry. It looks like we're going to start up now. We look at the indices. The Dow's up 65, the S&P 500's down a bit, and the NASDAQ is down 20. So the overall market is kind of searching for direction. It's just kind of a nothing burger. It's sideways. Not a lot to write home about. Not a super strong current to jump in here. Not a super strong current. But this is a better entry than any place this morning you might have entered. Okay? So if you did enter here, you'd want to quickly put a stop in below it and prepare to see if it hits the stop, you have a tiny loss, and if it goes forward, you have a nice gain, because this could come. It looks like it's going to come. It's right at the bottom of the Bollinger Band here. We'll see if it pushes through the Bollinger Band and the volume weighted average price. It should be clear sailing back up to the 50 as long as the NASDAQ composite agrees. And we get the volume here in the NASDAQ to drag everything up, which means, the current in the stream is pretty strong right here. And if you jump in the current, it's probably going to take you up. It's going to take you downriver, right? It's going to take you upriver in this case. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for perfect dip setups on strong stocks that make money, that have some volatility to them, that can move a number of dollars so we can make some money on these things. So that's what you're thinking. Don't buy there at the VWAP. Don't get so excited you can't wait. I gotta just own something and try and make some money today. This is a coin flip. We don't want to buy stocks when we're on a coin flip. We want to buy stocks that are up against the floor, so that the chances they go up from the floor are more like 90, 95%, right? So don't buy a stock and then it goes lower, and then you have to wait all day to see if it can go back up past where it is that you bought it. That's a miserable day, and you're going to need lots of Pepsid AC if you're going to trade that way. Let's have the patience to do things to our advantage. We don't have to jump in things. You know, this is our money. We will buy if it comes to our price in the way that we do things, right? No trade is better than a bad trade. Okay, don't be so short-sighted that you just have to get in there and trade all day. Huh? Sometimes you don't trade, and that's okay. So, market very sideways. Markets turn positive now. S&P's up, Dow's up, Nasdaq's up, and if you look at the Nasdaq, it's just off its push here. It's figuring out, all right, what are we gonna do? Tesla's thinking about pushing through the bottom of the Bollinger Band and up through the volume weighted average price, which is that yellow dotted line, is how I put it on my trading station. So yeah, so if you bought it when it first got green, you did lucky, right? You did good because it went up when it might not have been the perfect setup, but it's pretty down here against the floor. So yeah, it could have went a little bit down, but it didn't. What would be interesting here and what would be a nice trade would be if this pushes up through the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and it looks like it just did, and now it's up against the volume weighted average price. So is the Nasdaq going to push it up over? Because if then, it'll run up to the 50, and it's a good day if you sell it just below the 50 moving average there, which is the brown line, and the 20 moving average is the light blue line. You might want to have the patience to let it approach these indices, these averages here, because if it was to continue up and push through those, well, you've kind of got blue sky all the way to the 200 here, although the Bollinger Band might provide some overhead resistance, okay, as you see it here. So, so if you bought it here, you are profitable and you're just waiting. So if I put a stop in, I put a stop in probably where I bought it, okay? So if you bought it around, the 202 mark, 202.31 here, then I put my stop about there so it's a break even for me. But if this candle, if Tesla pushes through the bottom of the Bollinger Band and the volume weighted average price and gets up into this area, which is about 204.80, then you can move your stop up to just under the Bollinger Band and the volume weighted average price. Because once it pushes through the Bollinger Band and the VWAP, that becomes the floor, becomes support for Tesla. Okay, so that's important. So if it comes down then and crashes back through the volume weighted average price, let me expand that a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. So if it was to go down and crash back through these, well, you made some money. Okay, you did a trade, you made some money, maybe not as much as you wanted to, but you did pretty well. Call it good. Green is green. Green is green. So if you make money on a trade, that's better than losing money on a trade or having a tiny loss, okay? So there you go. That's the lesson for now. Remember, don't buy too soon here. Don't buy and let it go lower. We're going to let things play out. Be patient, especially on Tesla, which I watch all the time. Tesla is very volatile and it can be very profitable too. But you have to know how to trade it. Tesla is kind of a course on its own. So, excuse me. So that's going to do it for our little dive into Tesla here on 11/7/2022. What did it do when the market opened? It did what it often does. It sells off hard because in pre-market it went up some, so people take profits. So there you go. There's a kind of a talk through Tesla this morning, and it is failing. So you want to look for Tesla again here at the bottom of its all-time low and the bottom of its channel down here. So there you go. There's Tesla so far today. Okay, folks, so later on in the day, not too much farther, but a very interesting development is Tesla continues down. So, and you are the patient person who didn't take the head fake, here and are just letting this go down. But what's very interesting, and I want you to be very cautious about, is look what happened. So Tesla continues down. Why the NASDAQ, it was quite green here just a second ago. You didn't quite see it. It might have been there, but now it's more mirroring it. But I think Tesla is going to make its all-time low here in the bottom of the channel down, which is an opportunity there to make the purchase only when the NASDAQ tells you the coast is clear. So before we cross the street, before we step out into the street, we look both ways. We look at news on Tesla. We look at news in the overall market. We watch the NASDAQ. We never trade against the market. We jump in the river when the current's strong. And right here on the NASDAQ, the current is not strong. So this is a no trade until it maybe bottoms out and we go hard green here and we start back up the other side. So that's the development. It's still kind of a no trade. You can hang out here. Now, if you bought Tesla here, what this looks like to me is this could go sideways all day. So you're going to kind of tie up your money to do nothing. But we'll see. So we'll check in here. We'll keep an eye on it. If it does hit down here and then we see the NASDAQ just went green, which means it's perking up. But I don't see the volume much coming into Tesla. See, Tesla had these blue candles here are the volume, which is overlapped right on the chart. So Tesla starting up here, the NASDAQ starting up. So maybe that was the bottom. So was that a good place to buy it? Not a terrible place to buy it because its all-time bottom and the bottom of the channel down is right there. I mean, it's literally within, just a little bit of it. So I think we're going to start up here. So that might have been a good spot, and now we've got volume coming into the NASDAQ, and that's we don't trade against the NASDAQ on a tech stock, and this is one where right there when it hit the bottom of the candle, we were red on the NASDAQ. It wasn't really the best buying signal ever. Now, in hindsight, I wish I had a crystal ball. You would have, you'd be up a little bit here. But we want this thing to go up over and bump under the 200. And until this gets real green and shows some real volume, and it doesn't feel like that kind of day, not in this trade. Just not in this trade. This could just go back red. I think this could still come down and hit the its all-time low here. Its low for the day is 199.35, and its all-time low is, what is it here? See if I can get it. It is, come on for me right there. I think it's 198 and some change. So we'll keep an eye on it and we'll let you know. Okay, folks, so here we are. Tesla has reached a very strong floor, and watch what happens. This is where we don't have to buy it right here. We have to watch it right here. So it has already busted through the floors. Now look at the NASDAQ. Here's what should bother you. It is not mirroring the NASDAQ composite, which means it has a mind of its own. Now, why would that be? Let's check the news. We're always trying to figure out. So, good news for electric vehicles there. A bunch of stuff about Tesla, Gigafactory Berlin expansion. Nothing, no bad news on Tesla. And that's what's weird about Tesla. Sometimes it has a mind of its own. And it has now has a new all-time low, which is incredibly interesting. On a day where the market's pretty much going sideways, it's kind of a nothing burger on the market. Let me just pull it right back up here. Yeah, the Dow's up 187. It is 11:11 a.m. The S&P's up 8, and the Nasdaq's down 6. So it's kind of a nothing burger market day. What worries me about Tesla here is it is not mirroring the Nasdaq composite. It doesn't look exactly like the Nasdaq does. So that means the Tesla shorters were bound and determined to get this thing below its all-time low. So this is a very interesting buy at some point, but we're going to need some help because there's not much point in buying something if you don't think it's going to go up. Huh? Brilliance, right? That's why you subscribe to this channel, is for brilliance like that. When you buy something, you want it to go up. But your best indicator of whether or not that's going to go up is the entire overall market. And it is a unexciting market day. So be very careful, but Tesla's very interesting. I am going to buy 100 shares. And just dip my toe in it here pretty soon as I get an indication from the NASDAQ that potentially it could be coming around here. So that is what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a green light, and I'm looking for a good green light. Otherwise, Tesla's in a channel down and has been for days. It's continuing on the channel down. We're not buying yet here. We don't buy yet. Do not do it, or you'll just watch it go lower. Okay? Or it'll hit your very short stop, and you'll just lose, $30 there, $40 there, because it keeps hitting your stop, because you're being safe. Much better to wait. Remember, we'll get on the wave when there's a wave. Yeah, so we didn't buy it at the lowest low point. That doesn't matter. Get that out of your head. You don't have to buy it at the very, very bottom. You just have to catch that wave when it starts coming to make money. Lock that in. I mean, get a tattoo of that thing on you. Because that's what it takes, is the patience and the discipline to not just grab it now. Right? Let's jump on the wave when there's a wave, and we're pretty sure it's going to mound up here. The NASDAQ shows no signs of any wave coming here. See, now they're both going green, right? So, might have been a good entry point there, but we would watch that super, super tight because then you would have super low bottoms on this thing, the super low stops, so that if you did take a loss, it would be tiny. The interesting part was if you bought it right there, and I'll just get 100 shares here real quick. Okay, so we're in right there. If this blows through the top of this candle where it stopped before, we'll see. So let me set a quick stop here in case it goes the wrong way. Okay. And now if it goes the wrong way, it's a nothing burger for me. I just don't make anything. I don't lose anything. Okay. So that's where we're at. Let's watch it. Let's hope that thing cycles up. And it's looking like it's perking up pretty good here. So this could be a good trade for us. And one of the things you can do is I'll take my stop now and I'm going to move it up a little bit. That way, if it does bottom back out, at least I've made, let's see, $20, $30 here as it starts to go. So let's hope this thing blows the roof right off and pushes Tesla up with it. We'll see. Tesla's got a lot of resistance here. It's got the volume weighted average price right here. It's got the 20. It's got the 50. It's got the 200. It's got a long way. As a matter of fact, when the 20 crossed over the 50, it's kind of like a death symbol, right? And probably a sign right there. Maybe this isn't the day to trade this thing, especially not. But I'm trying to put some content out so I can teach you. So some of teaching you, and I just bottomed out. I made $30. So that's all that was in it. But hey, I got a $30 profit, and I'm just chilling, seeing what this thing is going to do. So I could go right back in and buy it where I had it, and hope the NASDAQ brings it up, because we're still looking perky here on the NASDAQ. Even though Tesla doesn't want to, it's fighting it. These two do not mirror each other, which bothers me. On a typical day, if I wasn't teaching, if I'm not trying to make some points here with you, when they're not doing exactly the same thing, it's probably not the day to buy. Okay, not the day to buy. So we're up $30, which is like a nothing burger. But we'll wait to see what happens. Looks like the NASDAQ's coming back down. This could go even farther, even lower than its 197.48 here, and it looks like it's going to do that. So we'll see. We'll wait for this to bottom. This technique is called buying it off the bottom. And as it gets down through its 197.48, if it goes that far, we'll wait for a sign to go ahead and get back in and see if maybe we can make another $30, right? And then what I'm waiting for is, I bought 100 shares, and then if this was to blow up through, I would probably add to that position. I'd buy 100 more. That takes my average price from, down where it was to the middle of where the candle is and where my buy price is. And then I watch it very, very closely, because I move my stop up to profits. But now, since it looks promising that it's going to blast forward, what I do is I double the rate at which I make money, because I added to my position. I scaled into the trade. So that is a great way. Plus, so you bought 100 shares, and now you've got a buffer. So you can afford to buy another 100, because if it goes just halfway back, you still can get out of this scot-free without any stress and without you didn't get the big gain, but I don't think today is the day we're going to get a big gain on anything. This is kind of NASDAQ that's looking for direction. It's just not happening here. So it'll be interesting. So this week it's Monday, 11/7. Election day is tomorrow. And I don't know what your politics are, and I don't care, and I don't care to tell you what mine are. But we have a Democratic president, a Democratic Senate, and a Democratic House. It looks like the House is certainly going to flip to the Republicans, and probably the Senate too, I think. Now, one thing I know about the market is the market loves a mess like that, which means we've got a Democratic president and we've got a split Congress what this means is nothing's going to happen for the next 2 years until the presidential election. And the market loves a tied up Congress like that. They love it. So that tells me Wednesday, if the Republicans take back some houses here, that Wednesday could be a very big up day in which a stock like Tesla or a stock like Google or Amazon is going to just channel up. So on Wednesday, my plan would be to show you how to trade a channel up. And it's a lot of fun. And you can make a lot of money on a channel up, and that's going to be one of your favorite techniques. This buying it off the bottom is not my favorite technique, but it is a money maker. But we're waiting for something to happen here. And out of boredom, you buy it off the bottom. Probably not the best technique to cheat you out of the box, but it's just another arrow in your quiver. So it's just another attack, way to attack the market if you're so inclined. So probably not for beginners here. Let's wait for a good strong day where you could buy about any stock and the overall market's going to take it higher. That way you can feel like a genius. But we can talk about what's happening and why, and then contrast it with a day like today where it's just kind of a sideways day and it's looking for direction, it's waiting for the election, it's kind of a nothing burger, very low volume day in the stock market overall, so not a lot happening here. So that's where Tesla is. We're green on it. We'll see if we can get greener. Let's wait. It looks like the NASDAQ's perking up again here. I'm going to go back in. All right, that's all for now. Okay, gang, back in Tesla here, and the NASDAQ has perked up nicely. And what I'm looking for here is it to approach the VWAP here. We'll see if it breaks through. You've got profit here, so you can really sell it whenever you want to, and just take your money if you want to. I'd be a few $100 here, but what I'd rather show you is if it breaks through the VWAP, I'm going to add to it. So the volume weighted average price will then become the floor, and it should hold it as long as the NASDAQ is agreeable and the volume continues to go north here. So that's what we're looking for. Let's see if it'll do it. Let's hope so. So we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll let you know here. So it's a little bit like it's such a sideways, boring day in the market that it's like watching paint dry. But we're green, and hopefully if I add to this, it'll perk up to at least the 20 right here. And then we'll sell it all, and we'll shut the thing off and call it a day. You know what? It's good. Try and have you should try and have a goal every single day. Today's goal will be like, I don't know, $300 to $500 is all you're going to hope for today, because it's just kind of a nothing burger day. And if you can make that, you should shut the thing off and go do something else, for crying out loud. Don't sit here all day. It's stinking boring. It's already 11:35 a.m. and I've already been here too long. So you should be able to do all your trades and make the money you need to make in the first couple hours. Sometimes in the first hour. And then shut the thing off and be on your way. We don't overtrade. Overtrading is a bad idea. So let's not do that. So we'll see what this does. I'm not going to be too patient. If it drops much more, I'm just going to take the profit and call it a day. I mean, we took what the market gave us. You can't do much. Sometimes it's not a home run. Sometimes it's a single. You take the single and call it good.